people coming from all over the civilized world and largely from China to learn a lot of scholarship, logic, philosophy, religion, very technical, practical things like Kalairepattu and yoga and army and martial arts from Indian institutions and universities. Now, for a long period, we have had no universities and we have had no institutions. And when we started making institutions in last 150 years, all these institutions gave up the systems of knowledge which were the systems for which people came from other countries. अगर चीन से और वियतनाम से और ईरान से, यानी उस समय जो पर्शिया था, लोग यहाँ पढ़ने आते थे, तो वो एक नॉलेज सिस्टम्स के लिए आते थे. They came to understand all those different kinds of knowledge systems which were being taught here. When the British started reviving the education system, they brought in entirely a different system. And that system somehow has stayed exactly as it is. And as a matter of fact, I am so pained to see over years that every effort is being made still to preserve that system by each and every political party that comes into power. Not only preserve that system, to update the present state of education system in order to fall in line or become closer and closer to the American and the European universities. I mean, you are all perhaps not aware of a crisis that has happened in Delhi University, the 4-year course. Universities which were a university which was already swamped by lack of resources has been given 1 more year of teaching, just so that people can go to, students can go to America more easily. तो ये मैं बात आपको इसलिए बता रहा हूँ कि कहीं भी हमारे दिमाग में ये नहीं आ पा रहा है, और कोई भी दर्शन लेकर, कोई भी विचार लेकर कोई भी राजनीतिक पार्टी आती है, तो कहीं भी उनके द्वारा ये नहीं आ पा रहा कि अब हम इस दलदल से बाहर कैसे निकलें. How to come out of it? Why is it so? You see, this is exactly the major problem. अब इसमें देखिए बहुत बड़ी बातें ये हैं. What has to be thought very clearly, that when the British made a system of education, then we all know that they made it in order to run the bureaucracy of different levels within India. So their primary concern was to give you a bureaucracy. At a later date, they gave what was called the ICS, and then, of course, a whole bunch of just people who could simply at the graduate level do some study, or at the half graduate level do some study and fill up the ranks of the government clerks. Now, this remained the situation even when I went to college in 1960s. I went to a very good institution, supposedly a very good institution. And you know what happened in that institution? Everybody wanted to become an IFS or an IAS officer. And that college was called IAS Preparatory School. Just imagine, the best institution, so-called best, one of the best institution, bragged of itself as the high point of excellence being that it should be able to provide IAS and IFS to the country, that it should not be able to provide Nobel Prize winners or great scholars or great pundits or great musicians or great dancers. Nothing. It was only this. I am talking of 1960s. I went to college from 64 to 1969 in Delhi. And when I started teaching in 70s, the situation remained like this till almost 1990. The avenues were very, very small. Why? Because the whole system stayed as it is. And some of the greatest thinkers in the whole of the 20th century, like Mahatma Gandhi, Shri Aurobindo, Rabindranath Tagore, the system which was provided by them regarding education was totally ignored. So the British, what they did was, in order to create a system of bureaucracy and a system which you could go into for the sake of a living or an excellent living. And unfortunately, what has happened after 1990 is that the IAS officers are being replaced by the private sector executives. What are the schools which are most sought after schools today? The business schools. So if your daughter or if your son goes to the business school and then eventually wriggles up to an American business school, then the person is a success. Now, as a teacher and as a father, I think it is a tragedy for us. Because business is not only what life is made of. Business is not only what provides you happiness. In Bhutan, they have started working what they called a happiness quotient. That happiness is not to be measured in the number of cars that you have or how big a house you have, but in certain other terms. You will start measuring how content you are, how creative you are, how much reconciled you are to other people. Those will become the touchstones of happiness. So they are thinking of happiness in non-acquisitional terms. And this is a radical change in values. The system which was initiated in India was actually a system which was meant to degrade the totality of values of life to a very small purpose. And we have not been able to come out of that. What happened in colonial times was that in order to restrict your way of thinking, the strategy adopted was something like this. देखिए, अगर आपको किसी व्यक्ति का या किसी जाति का स्वाभिमान कम करना हो, तो उसका सबसे बड़ा साधन ये होता है कि आप उसकी एंसेस्ट्री पर, आप उसके इतिहास पर, आप जिस चीज़ में वो गौरव महसूस करता है, उसको बिलिटल कर दें. हम जानते हैं, हमें किसी का तिरस्कार करना है तो हम यही करते हैं, क्रोध में या बड़े शातिर ढंग से हम यही करते हैं, उसका स्वाभिमान तोड़ते हैं. स्वाभिमान टूट गया तो व्यक्ति टूट गया. तो ब्रिटिश टाइम में दो बातें हुई. एक तरफ तो हमारे क्लासिकल टेक्स्ट का ग्लोरिफिकेशन हुआ, या आपने तो साफ शकुंतला लिखी है. वो आए, उन्होंने कहा भाई यहाँ भी कुछ क्लासिकल है. Is there something good and classical? Is there something which can match with the Greeks, which can match with Aeschylus? तो उन्होंने कहा ओहो अच्छा अच्छा, यहाँ ये भाषा संस्कृत है और इसमें कालिदास ने अभिज्ञान शाकुंतलम नाम का एक ग्रंथ लिखा है, तो उसका अनुवाद हो गया साहब. वो यूरोप में गया और महाकवि ग्योटे ने भी उसका अनुवाद कर दिया और लोगों ने कहा बहुत अच्छा है, उसकी बड़ी प्रशंसा। एक तरफ तो ये हुआ, और दूसरी तरफ क्या हुआ? दूसरी तरफ ये हुआ कि अधिकांश किताबें जो भारत में सैकड़ों हजारों साल तक लिखी गईं, इनकी कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं। A shelf of European books are better than all the books written and produced through thousands of years of Indian history. ये मैकॉले साहब ने लिखा 1932 में अपने मिनट्स में, आप सब जानते हैं, नो नीड टू रिपीट दिस। और फिर उन्होंने क्या कहा कि आपको आवश्यकता ही नहीं है उन ग्रंथों को पढ़ने की। It is specifically he wrote this, there is no need. We have given you a digest of what is Hindu law, what is Islamic law, what is to be administered by a munsif, that is a small judge, lower level judge in the courts. We have written down that laws, you live by it. So what happened in social life was a terrible schizophrenia. आप ये तभी सोचने लगे कि हमारे काम की चीज़ें पुरानी कुछ भी नहीं थी, जो अब हमें अंग्रेज़ बहादुर ने दे दिया वही बहुत अच्छा है, और उसी से रोज़ी रोटी चलती है, और वही आपका फैसला होता है। So the whole legal system that existed in India at the level of the village also got replaced by a district court and then a high court, which used to be one in a presidency, and of course notionally a Supreme Court, and that again continued. So the situation today is that in a village, जो गांव में आदमी रहता है, उसे अगर कोई फैसला कोर्ट में जाना है तो उसे अपने घर से कभी कभी कई सौ मील दूर जाकर एक मुकदमा करना पड़ता। Now look at the distance that has happened between the people, the ruler and the ruled. And this distance is now more than 200 years old. They created a social system and an education system. That is why to this day, when we say, what are we going to give to our child? ये क्या बनेगा? क्या बनाएंगे आप? Then people, say all kinds of stupid things. We parents say all kinds of silly things. इसको engineer बनाएंगे, computer वाला बनाएंगे, ये वो. We only talk of very limited ideals. Now with such limited ideals, do you think we'll have a system where the teacher will be respected? Where knowledge itself will be respected? Where the knowledge system itself will be respected? It will not. And what the British again did was something which even 600 to 700 years of Islamic rule was not either able to do or did not aim to do. And it was this. It replaced the teacher by the administrator. 19th century में जो सबसे बड़ा चेंज होता है एजुकेशन के अंदर, सिस्टम में, टीचिंग सिस्टम में, वो यही होता है। एक तो हमें ये सिखाया गया, we were told that there was no education before the British came, and some eminent writers like Kushwant Singh still write that they gave us the railways, they gave us the universities, they gave us the colleges. Now there was a Gandhian scholar called Dharampal, and he wrote a book called The Beautiful Tree, and the name of this book was given by Mahatma Gandhi. And he did research through the British gazettes, and he came to the conclusion that even in 1850s in India, there were at least 1 or 2 or 3 pathshalas in each and every village of India, where people of all castes and more non-Brahmins than Brahmins used to study. मैं कोई प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं कर रहा हूँ, आप इंटरनेट पर जाइए, प्लीज गो टू द इंटरनेट, डाउनलोड दिस बुक कॉल्ड द ब्यूटिफुल ट्री बाय धर्मपाल एंड रीड इट फॉर योरसेल्फ. एंड द बुक हैज नॉट बीन चैलेंज्ड, एंड इट वाज रिटन बाय ए ग्रेट स्कॉलर, not a political person. So when the British made all these changes, because we had lost the political control of the country, and they, from their point of view, were very justified in doing it, then they created the radical change that it was the principal of the college, that it was the vice chancellor of the college, university, that it was the administrator who was going to do all the hiring and the firing. इससे पहले जो भारत में सिस्टम था, पाठशालाओं का सिस्टम था, उसमें जो भी गुरु था वो राजा से जाकर तनख्वाह नहीं लेता था, वो लोकल लोगों से लेता था. He was responsible to the community. It was the community which was sustaining him. And he was not bothered what the king thought. The king was not making those appointments. The king was not taking decisions on what was to be taught. आज तो आपके पास बहुत बड़ी संस्था है, NCRT है, UGC है, वही सारे फैसले लेती है, वही सारे देश का सिलेबस बनाती है. ये कंटिन्यूएशन उस चेंज का है. ये चेंज जो 200 साल पहले हिंदुस्तान में आई, देखिए एक रेडिकल डिफरेंस था. जब टीचर डिसाइड करता था कि मुझे क्या पढ़ाना है, आज हमने नकल तो कर ली कि दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी को 4 साल का कोर्स बना दिया, लेकिन हमने ये नकल नहीं करी जो अमेरिका में होता है कि टीचर डिसाइड करता है कि मैं फलाने अपने कोर्स में क्या पढ़ाऊंगा और कौन सी किताबें होंगी. तो जो चीज़ हम करते आ रहे थे हज़ारों साल से, आज दूसरे कर रहे हैं और अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ बना रहे हैं जहां हम अपने बच्चों को लोन लेकर भेजते हैं पढ़ने के लिए. ये क्यों हो गया और क्यों हम होने दे रहे हैं, और हमारे पास अब कौन सी चीज़ है कि इससे हम बाहर निकलें? What is the way? Now, the first thing that I want to say is that we have to change the thought that modernity is something which contradicts the past. You see, today in India, we live with this idea that what is modern is a contradiction of what was ancient or medieval. आधुनिकता जो है वो परंपरा का अपवाद है, परंपरा के विपरीत है. हम कहते हैं अरे साहब वो तो पुराना था. क्या करोगे मनुस्मृति पढ़ के, क्या करोगे आप अर्थशास्त्र पढ़ के, क्या करोगे किसी शास्त्र को भी पढ़ के, वो सब बहुत पुरानी चीज़ है, बेकार की चीज़ है. अब तो आधुनिकता आ गई. Now this stereotype with which we have been living, this simply has to be changed, because modernity is a continuation of tradition, not a break from it. आप ये समझिए और देखिए, छोटी छोटी बातों में देखिए कि कहाँ जीवन में अवरोध हो रहा है, क्योंकि हमने ये मान लिया कि मॉडर्निटी अलग है, उसका पास से कोई संबंध नहीं. आज आपका लड़का कहता है साहब मैं तो शादी करूंगा फलानी लड़की से, मोहल्ले में ही रहती है, और अगर दिल्ली है और जाटों का गांव है तो वो कह देते हैं अरे ये तो तेरे गोत्र की है, कैसे करेगा शादी. और फिर हम आकर एक सोल्यूशन निकालते हैं दैट ह्यूमन राइट्स आर बीइंग वायलेटेड। हम अपना बड़ा सीधा सा इतिहास नहीं देखते कि वो किताबें जिनको हम मनुस्मृति कह के साइड में रख देते हैं, याज्ञवल्क्य स्मृति, वो कहती हैं कि सगोत्र विवाह होना चाहिए, ठीक है, लेकिन अगर कोई नहीं कर रहा है तो उसके लिए कोई बहुत बड़ी सज़ा नहीं है, सिर्फ 1 महीने का उपवास है। ये फैक्ट है मैडम। आप मुझे ईमेल लिख दीजिए bharatgupta@vsnl.com पे, मैं आपको श्लोक भेज दूंगा, कोटेशंस भेज दूंगा। कितने सिंपल सॉल्यूशंस हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि ये संस्कृति बड़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स रही है। We have had so many kinds of lives, so many kinds of societies in this, that we have several solutions for several situations. And if we look at our own selves and our own tradition, then solutions are there just waiting to be picked up. The point I am making is that modernity is not a contradiction of tradition. Tradition is not an enemy of modernity. जिस भी political system की वजह से, जिस भी educational थॉट की वजह से ये बात हमारे दिमाग में घर कर गई है, इसको निकाल दीजिए। मॉडर्निटी इज एन अपडेटिंग ऑफ ट्रेडिशन, नॉट ए ब्रेक। अब इसका नतीजा देखिए क्या हो रहा है।